That's why the outtakes are so funny.
Exactly.
If you see a property that interests you, or I don't know,
At our office.
one of the agents at the office if you see a property that you're interested in, please give me a call, or one of the agents. Yeah, you realize I'm never going to remember all this. I don't know. I can't read it. Okay. Welcome to the Kline May Realty Showcase. I'm Baker Garber with Harrisburg Real Estate Group. If you see a property that you're interested in, please give myself or one of the offices a call. Thank you to our sponsors and enjoy the show.
Bill and Lori, thanks again so much for just taking the time to share a little bit about your story. And as I was kind of getting ready for today, it was fun to go back and reminisce about how we first met, and which actually wasn't
real estate related.
Wasn't real estate.
Right.
Yeah.
We met at a prayer breakfast, I believe, and then later on, we had a real estate need, and you were able to help us with that.
It worked out pretty well, and it was a really incredible house because it was an older home, but had a very modern kitchen, living room addition onto it.
Yeah, it was a unique property in a unique location, and when I say unique, you can substitute challenging, because it was 105 years old. We had remodeled the house in the 20 years that we had lived there extensively. We weren't expecting it to sell as quickly as it sold.
Of course, I was with a different company at that time, but it was 2016 when we did our first real estate deal together.
Right. And we quickly went from selling a home to having to buy a home.
Right.
In a very still at that time, it was a very challenging market. I think we entertained 3 different properties, if you recall. Got into kind of bidding wars on all 3. And got down to about 5 days of being homeless, technically, because of the closing of the house that we were selling, and weren't able to find a house in that short amount of time. And so you and your team assisted us in finding a home to lease for a few months.
Part of finding a home was Lori having some allergies and everything, so finding a home in Rockingham County, not next to a farm,
was very hard in this area.
a little bit harder than you might imagine.
Yes.
But we even just found this one. And this house actually wasn't even on the market when we found it.
Yes. You certainly did a great job of mitigating the stresses of real estate transactions, but I would think you would say that we were almost a case study in difficult real estate transactions. and you sold our home very quickly. We got in the market very short time frame, needed to find a home, and then the home that we signed the lease on to rent, we ended up purchasing that home.
And you were able to help someone that has special circumstances be able to do it.
Right.
So that was very important.
And then I got the opportunity to work with your family again just last year with your daughter and her husband.
Yes. Paul, you're a trusted advisor to our family, not only to Lori and I, but when our daughter and her husband decided to get in the market and buy their first home, we asked them to at least chat with you, and we appreciate what you guided them through that process. We stood back, as we didn't want to be hover parents, so we stood back, but we knew they were in good hands in your leadership there.
And that's just, to me, that's the best compliment ever, is when someone trusts me with another member of their family, and so I really appreciate that.
You're stuck with us for life, Paul, I hope.
Hey, it's not being stuck, it's a privilege. I wouldn't have it any other way, so thank y'all so much.
love my job because you get to help people complete one of their biggest dreams, which is owning a home. I think DCC is the best place for a mortgage because we are community-based, member-focused. Everybody works together, to make sure that every member is taken care of.
DCC is unique in that our whole operations team is here locally. Don't send your file to another state for it to be processed and underwritten there. You are working with somebody who's part of this community.
My name is Kyle Lawrence, and I'm the Executive Director of the Shenandoah Valley Bicycle Coalition. The Coalition does a wide range of activities that help further walking and biking, and that's everything from building and maintaining trails, and also advocating for greenways, bike lanes, sidewalks, and safer places for people to walk and bike as part of their daily lives. So the Shenandoah Valley is a really amazing place to bike and to recreate, to walk, to hike. But one thing we're really lacking is accessible opportunities for people to bike and walk and recreate away from cars in separate spaces. And so rail trails provide an amazing space like greenways where people can be safe and comfortable and away from traffic and connect communities. We are right here in Timberville. We're right along the North Fork of the Shenandoah River, the railroad behind us here. And this is a perfect opportunity of a park that would interface with the rail trail. And this particular rail trail corridor goes from Broadway to Front Royal. It's 48.5 miles, and it goes through 9 towns and 3 counties. So this line during the Civil War came down from the northern part of the valley into Mount Jackson, and after the Civil War was continued south. What has happened more recently is all the investment has been in Page County. So this line, particularly parts up by Woodstock, have sat unused for 20 plus years. In some places there's 40-foot trees growing through the tracks. What we want to do is make sure it remains a public asset, right? And what we've come away with is that a rail trail is the best and highest public use of this corridor. Rail to trail concepts have been successful throughout the country, and one of the reasons is you're never going to get a corridor like a railroad corridor again. You're never going to be able to acquire that property, and you're never going to have it graded so that it's accessible. So that's what's so magical about a rail trail corridor. This trail is really special because we believe it'll be one of the most scenic in the state. One of the things that's really cool is being down in the valley, you have views outward to the mountains, but you're not pinched up in the mountains like, say, the Greenbrier Trail in West Virginia. So expansive views of the Massanutten Mountains and the Alleghenies, lots of crossings of the North Fork of the Shenandoah River, and then going through these small towns is the other thing that makes it really unique. Going through 9 towns and communities. A lot of the other trails end up being in more remote rural areas. And so that together will make this trail super special. If you look at greenways, you look at rail trails, you see regular people in regular clothes riding regular bikes, right? I think a lot of us think of this, have this conception of someone in spandex on a really fancy bike. And that's great, those people exist, but that's actually not the target of this trail or any of these long distance trails. And those aren't the people we're gonna see, and they're not the people we're seeing on greenways. It's people looking for a safe space to ride with their friends, their family, their children. Kline May does a really good job of recognizing all the things that help make a strong and healthy, vibrant community. And so this idea of supporting initiatives that connect our community, improve our quality of life, like I said, make our community a stickier place where people want to stay, where they want to live, where they want to start families. And all that is wrapped up in how you get around for transportation, how you recreate, and what you can do out your door or nearby with your family and friends. So Kline May believes that those are all really important things and things that their clients are looking for, and it's right in line with what the Bicycle Coalition aims to do. I think it builds better communities, makes us all happier, and makes for a better world.
Home buyers beware. That's Virginia's motto. So do not buy someone else's problems. Never skip the home inspection. Even if you're buying as is or FYI, for your own protection, get a home inspection from Aztec Home Inspections. We provide home buyers with thorough and informative home inspections, radon testing, and mold testing. Get protected during your home buying process. Know before you buy. Schedule online at aztechomeInsp.com.
Hi, I'm Karl Waizecker, Principal Broker at Kline May Realty. Thanks for joining us for another Q&A with Kline May. Today, our coffee of the week is from Chesapeake Bay Roasting Company. This is their light roast. That's nice. That's almost a little bit fruity. I've heard different coffees described as fruity or citrusy. Never really got that myself, but this one I do. If you'd like to try some of the coffees that we have here, send us your questions, any real estate questions, and if yours is picked to be featured one week, you'll receive a pound of coffee that we also feature that week. Today, our question is, how's inventory doing? This is still a hot topic of conversation, and in a word, it's improving, both on a national level and on a local level. I can tell you that we've got a combination of things happening which are improving the inventory situation for buyers who are looking. So in first place, more new listings are coming on the market than did through the first 6 months of last year. So that's an important factor, obviously. A lot of times we look at inventory in terms of standing inventory, which has a lot to do with how quickly homes are selling, not necessarily how many are coming onto the market. So to see more homes being listed than last year is a very encouraging sign. That's now being combined with the fact that some buyers are having to retreat from the market a bit because of affordability issues with prices going up and interest rates going up. There's been a little bit of a calming in the buyer's market. So that has helped as well, with buyers having a little bit less of a competitive situation. And then I think thirdly, some sellers who've been on the sidelines, afraid to put their home on the market because they weren't confident they could find something, are now starting to see a little more standing inventory, some more homes in their neighborhoods coming for sale, and so they're starting to think maybe they can find something, and then those homes will go on the market. So while we're not seeing a super dramatic shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market, things are definitely starting to level out a bit and start to look a little less stressful and frantic for the buyers. If you want to keep up what's going on in our new market, as far as new listings, there's always a link in the description below our videos. You can click on that and see the newest listings for the last 2 weeks. Thanks very much for joining us.
Prowling isn't something to cry wolf about. With a Hawk security system, your home will howl, so you can deal with unwanted prowlers. Hawk Security will keep an eye on the creeps so you can get your sleep.
Hi, I'm Sheri Anderson with Kline May Realty. We're here in beautiful Middlebrook, Virginia. Today I'm going to show you this beautiful brick ranch home. It was a well-loved family home, and we've done a little bit of work to it to get it ready for the buyers. Come on in, let's take a look. The living room had maroon carpet all the way through. We thought that it would probably bring more potential buyers in by seeing the hardwood floors. Kathy Blue and I went together and pulled the carpet, and actually my family and I came the next day to finish pulling carpet and pulling staples. It just brightened up the whole room. It made it look so much better. It was just a total change in the whole house. Now let's go look at the built-in shelves. These shelves were dark, knotty pine. We felt that if we would paint them, it would give it a lot more light in this room and make it look more modern. Small touches like this can make a really big difference to potential buyers. It makes it cozy, warm, and inviting so they can see themselves here reading a book by the fireplace and just taking it all in. Some other things that we did to get this home ready to sell, we pulled some more carpet in another couple rooms to give that more warm, inviting feel. A few other things that we did pre-listing were we had the outside power washed, we had a giant bush pulled from the front of the house and mulched. We had pulled the drapes down in a lot of the rooms. We, of course, painted, and then we had the stager come in and stage the home. We don't always get to stage every home, but when you can add the staging in, it just makes the home pop more. It helps buyers to imagine what could be with the home. Some really cool things that Jessica Harrison had staged for us was she put some little cookbooks out in the kitchen and added a few towels to make it feel like you are actually in this kitchen and prepared to cook here. She staged the bookcases and made it look a whole lot nicer. All of these things like landscaping a home, mulching a home, painting a home, staging a home, pulling carpet when needed can really help you to try to sell your home. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of this house in Middlebrook. As you see, a few changes can make it ready for market.
We all want to give our kids the best of everything, the best nutrition, the best education, and the best place to grow up. Even the air they breathe. Lennox strives to provide the best air quality for your family's home, free of indoor air pollutants.
At Landis Heating and Air Conditioning, they can install a Lennox customized comfort system in your home. Let Landis sweat the details so you can relax in comfort. Call my friends at Landis Heating and Air Conditioning today.
Get up to $1,700 in rebates.
Thanks very much for watching this week's Kline May Realty Showcase. I hope you enjoyed it. We'd like to thank our sponsors, as always, and we hope to see you all next week.